All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people just like you and just like me. All right, I haven't promoted this for a little while, but I wanted to let people know about it again because this probably will be my favorite album for 2022. This is Lone Rider. The album is called Sundown. Um, this is like Bad Company for the year 2022. And I don't know if Paul Rogers and the original Bad Company have any plans on recording. If they do, great. If not, here you go. Is it derivative? Yes. But I celebrate that. Steve Overland is your lead vocalist, and Simon Kirk is playing drums on this. And he sounds great. All of the material on this is just spectacular. There are a few super standout tracks, but quite honestly, if I were an FM radio station, I'd want to play all of this music through the transmitter and out to the world. So here it is again, Sundown by Lone Rider, courtesy of our friends over at Escape Music, who also have the Turkish Delight album out there, which is another spectacular melodic rock collection of songs that you should check out. All right, so I've been checking out some of the information regarding Christine McVie. And she passed away a couple of days ago now. And it's super sad. And messages from Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood, and a really heartfelt message from Lindsey Buckingham as well. You know, I made a somewhat controversial video, like I always do, about how one of the great things that Christine will be remembered for is not being on board with booting Lindsey Buckingham out of the band. The rock media almost celebrated Lindsey being out of the band, and all these negative stories ran about Lindsey. And then, you know, how he messed up the Tusk album, just all of this garbage. Okay. But, you know, it's just kind of sad when people have an agenda that they'll just prop it up and put out more information to make their point. You know, hey, I spent my lunch money or some. I remember reading this thing about this woman who was sad because Tusk was a double album and she had to spend like her, it wasn't the lunch money, it was her babysitting money, okay, on purchasing a copy of the album. Now everything is just streamed. So we should celebrate those days when the artist actually made a living recording new music. I think that's a really good thing. So anyway, I've been kind of looking at some of the articles where the media is dumbfounded. We didn't know Christine McVie was sick. Stevie Nicks had no idea until like Saturday night, and apparently she wanted to go to London. They told her to wait and not come to London. And so, you know, she honored that. I'm not sure if anyone else in the band knew about Christine McVie being sick, but it was a short illness. If it was Saturday when people were notified, I'm thinking, what, 3 days, 4 days, and Christine is no longer here. So that is kind of interesting. And the media has even used the words unexpected and suddenly, right? I know suddenly now is a word that if you use it in conjunction with the word died, you might get flagged, or you know, people will say, oh, so you're one of those crazy conspiracy theorists. There's a documentary movie out there which is being debunked all over the world because none of this could actually be happening. And I'm sitting here going, this is just amazing to me. This, you know why it's amazing? Because humanity doesn't care about itself anymore. Humanity has some kind of other agenda where it's okay for this stuff to happen, and it's just unfortunate. You know how unfortunate and how crazy this is getting? I mentioned this country singer, and I've got the article here. I'm going to read straight from the article and tell me this doesn't demand an answer. Something is wrong. I understand the family needs privacy. but something, I'm telling you folks, something is very wrong. So here's the article about this country singer, 37-year-old country singer songwriter dies unexpectedly in sleep just hours after his wedding. This came out on November 29th. The country music world lost an up-and-coming star over the weekend, and the circumstances left many shocked. According to the Oklahoman, Jake Flint, 37, an Oklahoma-based singer-songwriter, died in his sleep on Saturday night. Jake Flint was 37 years old. The situation is exponentially more difficult for friends, family, and fans because he had just been married hours earlier. All right, so I know people are thinking maybe, that wedding was a little crazy. Maybe, they consummated the relationship that night and this was just too much for him. 37 years old, people. Come on. And a lot of people just are, oh, it's really sad and unfortunate and nothing really to see here. The Oklahoman noted that Flint and his bride, Brenda, exchanged vows on a rainy Saturday afternoon at a remote homestead between the towns of Claremore and Owasso. Cliff Doyle, Flint's publicist, confirmed the news of Flint's death on Monday. He was not only a client, he was a dear friend and just a super nice guy. He was loved by everybody. I think a lot of it was just that he was a nice person, a people person, and had an amazing sense of humor. He made everybody laugh. He made everybody feel welcome. He was also larger than life. He easily lit up a room and made tons of friends really easily. He would go out of his way for people, just small kindnesses. I think that's why this is such a devastating blow. Well, that and the fact that a 37-year-old shouldn't be dying in their sleep unexpectedly. I mean, that's the story here. I mean, the guy obviously was really nice. By the way, if you go look up Jake Flint, you're going to find a lot of great music. He's part of that red dirt country scene that I really enjoy because it's roots oriented. It's back to basics. It's no frills. It's not bro country. It's not Nashville. I mean, this is a guy with a guitar and he knows how to play the guitar and he knows how to write songs. Jake Flint, 37 years old. So what does this have to do with Christine McVie? She was 79, right? So everybody's like, she's 79. That was my first response. Actually, I'm like, wow, she was almost 80 years old. I mean, our current president is 80 years old, right? Didn't he just turn 80 and nobody was talking about that? Or he's going to be 80 soon? Anyway, it's bizarre when people die this quickly and this unexpectedly. And even the media has to kind of play with some words. Well, don't say suddenly, say unexpectedly, because we don't want that hashtag going around. We don't want people to go and not use Google, probably use like DuckDuckGo or whatever for a search engine, because then you might find that documentary and you might watch it. And even if you don't believe what's going on in there, shouldn't you ask some questions? Shouldn't you be talking to your local health officials and your local politicians and say, hey, this all seems kind of weird? And nobody in the rock community is going to question this. Now, there may be a few in the country music community. But getting back to Christine McVie, when people are shocked at how quickly this all happened, maybe they should ask a couple of questions. That's all. This isn't really difficult, people. Either we're going to be humanity or we're not going to be humanity. Humanity means all of these nice sentiments that are going out. When people get mad when you say thoughts and prayers, oh, we're overthought. Like when gun violence happens and people say, I don't want your thoughts and prayers. Well, do we want thoughts and prayers for something that maybe we should be asking some questions for? Yeah, obviously for the family and the fans and people associated with Christine McVie. Yeah, 100%. You want thoughts and prayers for all of those people. But you also, want some justice maybe, or want an answer to a question. Now, the biggest obstacle to this is when this happens, the family needs privacy. And I don't blame them for needing and wanting privacy. That's the way it should be. But I think later on, after the fact, and there have been multiple cases of this for the past 2+ years. And if you think this is all just coincidence and there's nothing to see here, I can't really help you. I've seen way too much. I've read too many documents. I read stuff when, 2020 or actually 2021 started and something happened and people started doing something. Some of those internal documents are devastating. Any media professional with an ounce of integrity who wants to win a Nobel Prize or something, a Pulitzer Prize, both, because, the Nobel Prize would be for peace. I guess the press secretary calls it the Nobel Prize now. So it's the Nobel Prize, not the Nobel Prize. But anyway, if you wanted to win a Pulitzer, you would do some research and you would uncover probably very easily with the resources that you have, not like me who's just reading documents. Go talk to some people. Go talk to the insurance companies who are reporting huge increases in all case mortality. Talk to them. See what they have to say about this. But nobody's going to do anything. So, Dave, what are you tying this all back to Christine McVie? Look, I don't know what happened with Christine McVie. She was 79. So this isn't as wild and peculiar as the 37-year-old Jake Flint. But is there a connection? There could be. I mean, by all appearances, Christine McVie lived a pretty healthy lifestyle, from what I understand. So all of this, I think, should be questioned. And by the way, it's not insensitive to raise these questions. It's just not. I think you honor someone's life. And by the way, I'm going to throw Taylor Hawkins in there too. Taylor Hawkins, we need to know. Oh, well, you didn't get the tox report? Yeah, but there were also some very strange things in addition to the tox report. And, I'm not sure how heavy someone's heart muscle is supposed to be, but, reports were that things were slightly abnormal. And you can go look that information up because it's still floating around. It's out there. People have reported it. But then, we're doing benefit concerts. We're doing tributes. We're not trying to find out what happened to this guy so it won't happen to somebody else. That's the point of all of this. We don't want another Jake Flint. We don't want another Taylor Hawkins. And maybe we don't want another Christine McVie, in the sense that we don't want this happening to people when it doesn't have to happen. That's all I'm saying. Now, if everybody's in on this and I'm just some crazy guy doing my observations, then we'll have to just peacefully coexist. You have your theories. I'm watching some crazy stuff happening all around me. Day after day, by the way. This isn't just sporadic, like, oh, we had a couple today. And no, I'm getting stuff that this is happening every day. And yeah, it's not just celebrities, but when it happens to a celebrity, then that's when people start to pay attention to it. So in any event, I'm actually hoping I'm totally wrong. Just like what I said about what happened 2 years ago. I'm just hoping that, we were eventually going to get back to normal. And in some ways, in some places we have, but in other ways and in other places around the world, and even in the country I live in, depending on where you live, people are talking about doing the same stuff that they did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's madness, okay? Complete madness, and it really should stop. But there aren't enough people interested in stopping it. That's the truth. And this is where I'm starting to lose faith in humanity, and I'm becoming very jilted, very black-pilled. I don't really care. I don't. You can bring your complaints to me about how insensitive I am. Meanwhile, we've got carnage out there. Pay attention. Pay attention to the carnage. Don't pay attention to my analysis about a singer, my opinions about Stevie Nicks. I mean, whatever. We can agree to disagree. That's what this should be about. Anyway, that's my video. Don't forget about Lone Rider, though. Sundown. It's really, really good. Folks, when it's all said and done, like toward the end of each day, I have to just turn this stuff off, unplug. There are many of you that have jobs, that have lives. This is what I do all day long. I've got this channel, I've got the other channel, and the information overload is madness. So take a break, go for a walk, or listen to some music. You might want to just go for a walk and not listen to music, I hate to say, just to clear your head. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. New month here. It's December, so looking for some new patrons to sign up for Patreon. If you like the content, if you like the rants, I know a lot of people don't, but if you do, $1 a month is very helpful, and I appreciate that. And it is the holiday season, so yeah, 'tis the season to maybe give $1 a month. I understand, though, things are pretty rough out there, and so I appreciate it even more when people give up even $1 of their hard-earned money for my little channel here. Thanks again, and I will see you soon.